So on today's show, we're talking about rock rails. I think we've talked about armor in the past, but this show we want to answer one specific question. I think the question is whether or not weld-on rock rails versus bolt-on rock rails are right for your rig. So, in what instances, do we want to go with weld-on, and which are better for your needs? So, that's on the show today. Let's jump into it. Let's just talk about it. Let's talk about rock rails. All right, what's going on? What's going on, everyone? Thanks again for joining us on the Light Bars and Lockers podcast, the show where we answer your Jeep questions, talk about badass builds, and plot to take over the world. We've got, as always, Ryan Stoangi from Combat Off-Road and Tim Rogers from TMR Customs. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Well, living the quarantine dream.
So what's the quarantine going on over there?
I'm just, my kid got exposed to it. He hasn't tested positive, but we're still making him live in his room. And then, of course, because we have a renovation happening, so there's guys all over the place. And it's lots of fun. So it's lots of coordinating and trying to get things done. And of course, nobody can come into the office to do any like order packaging or anything. So there might be a slight delay because I have to literally do it at night, like work the the night shift to try and package all the orders. But could be worse. We could have no order. So,
that's right.
Right.
Yep.
So that's about it happening over here. How about you guys? Tim, you got anything fun happening over at TMR?
Yeah, we picked up a new industrial space around the corner from us. So we're staying where we are. We're not moving, but that'll just be some extra space for us because we're growing at quite a clip and we need some more room for products, our personal builds and whatnot. So, excited to do a bunch of renos there and get it looking jazzed up. And lots to do and obviously busy with the day-to-day too. So just like you, got to work the nights, weekends, and like Ryan, if there's an hour you're awake, you're working. So
Yep, fair enough. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So will you put the actual builds from your showroom over there, or right on?
Yeah, I need to convert this showroom here into warehousing because we're going to do.
I see. Okay.
All our order fulfillment still takes place here, and manufacturing still takes place here. So I basically got to get all the builds out of here because they're what consumes the most space and aren't used day to day. They're basically just being stored here. So they got to go, and then we're going to set up another machine shop and fabrication shop over there as well.
That's awesome. That's super cool. Yeah, congrats. That's really cool.
Thank you.
And Ryan, you got. I don't know if the people listening, obviously they can't see, but you've got your new sort of showroom behind you there. It looks good.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, we're hoping to open for April 5th, just on the north end of London. Just going down with the wire. I want to get this thing over with and off my plate. It's been we committed in September, and then now it's going to be April. So it took a while. It took a while to get everything sorted, and we're still building up the team for both spaces and outside sales and stuff like that. So that's it, man. A fancy retail spot in a fancy retail location. So should be pretty cool. It's a lot different when you step outside this door versus stepping outside the other door. You got space. It feels like nice and it's kind of more relaxed. But out here, it's like 50,000 cars a day zooming by, 4 lanes of traffic, and there's people everywhere. And this is it's different. It'll be good. Right. It'll be good for us for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. Congrats. Awesome. So we'll maybe we'll do a special live April 5th chat or something. We'll go. Sure. We'll do a walkthrough or something. Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, let's sort of jump into it. I know everyone's short on time. We're gonna try to keep this super quick. Just sort of a real quick topic today, if you will. The idea of the rock rails, and what they are and the different variations and flavors, if you will. So what I've found is, there's basically 4 types. We have the welded to the frame, we have bolted to the frame, bolted to the stock body mounts, and then bolted to the stock mounts and the frame. So let's talk about let's back up. Let's talk with Tim. What do they come stock with? I know there's obviously side steps, but the Rubicons come with rails. What do those guys look like?
Yeah, so that Rubicon rail is a bolt-on piece. It's decent for moderate wheeling. And yeah, like you said, I don't think you should confuse that with a side step like a Sahara has or some of the other models have. Those you'll peel off in no time. But the Rubicon rock rails, they're okay. I'd say if you do moderate stuff and some basic trails, they'll be good for you. If you want to kind of push it to the limits and you know you're going to be in constant contact with them on obstacles, then yeah, that's when you want to start looking aftermarket.
Okay, cool. Ryan, do you see people coming in with like gnarly, like people who think they can use the side steps as a rock rail? Do you see that often?
Oh yeah,
Because I've just seen the stories, right? The horror stories, like, oh, I was at wheel and I didn't know you couldn't bang that off a rock.
Well, yeah. First off, all of them are plastic except for the Rubicon ones. The Rubicon ones are still bolted to the body metal. So if you do flex that up, it could mess with your body metal. So yeah, they're still aesthetic, and then a lot of people multitask the rock rail for a step too, right? Whereas the one on the Rubicon, it doesn't come. You can't step on it, unless you got like little I don't know, like rooster claws you can get in there. I don't know. There's not much room. Yeah, you just gotta like Bruce Lee it on there. I don't know. You'd have a tough time. But some people do like keeping them or adding them to like all the other Jeep models when they put a rock rail on, because some rails that are aftermarket will allow you to keep that aesthetically and then put the rock rail there, so you don't see the weird. It looks like unfinished, but it's just where the pinch welds are for the body steam and stuff. Like it kind of looks unfinished. So people like to leave the rock rail or buy the Rubicon ones, take off and put them on and then add. So before you do that, make sure it says that they'll fit the ones you choose, and then go from there. I know the Ace ones fit. We've used the Ace ones quite a bit. I've never had a problem with their stuff that way for sure. Okay. And, yeah, just they're good, and their price point's pretty good. Like they're all around pretty decent.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well then, Tim, let's just to clarify the difference between the like bolted to the body mounts and bolted to the body mounts and the frame. Can we clarify just what that is, just in case people don't know the difference?
Obviously, if you look at the aftermarket ones, you'll see the ones that dip in under the body mounts. They'll have like a pocket cut for it. You're gonna pull the body mount out, slide that guy in there, and reattach it. Versus the frame mount ones, some of them will drill through the frame, some will pick up on existing bolt points and attach that way. So a lot of it will just come down to what you're capable of doing. If it's going to shop, I would trust the shop on what they recommend is best. But if it's something you're doing yourself, just look at that and think, can I take that job on, and seek out the instructions for it, so you know if it's in your wheelhouse to do at home in the driveway.
Okay, cool. And then, so Ryan, then I would assume the frame mount ones are considerably stronger than just the ones that are in, because it's just the body, the seam, right? That you were talking about. That's where they attach. The ones that aren't body mount or aren't frame mounted. The body mount ones,
they attach right to the body mount, right? So you don't want to attach like the frame. The frame and the body are going to move at different rates. So you don't want to attach something to the frame and then also attach it to the body. So you're going to create like these weird stressors, and you're going to, if you do enough, like land on it, like you probably pulled part of your body from the inside off, like it was near the pinch weld or somewhere, because the material is a lot thinner than the frame, like I said, and they twist up. The body's going to twist more than the frame. You know what I mean? So you're going to get different rates of movement. So I would not buy the ones personally that attach to the body mounts or attach to the frame and attach to the body somewhere. I would either pick one or the other. Okay. If you're going to go home and do it, obviously the body mount ones are great. So they're fast, easy. They come on and off. If you're to sell the Jeep, this, that, and the other. The downside to the body mounts is they're just sandwiched between a body mount, a bushing, right? So they'll deflect, right? So if you slide off something and hit the rock rail, that's fantastic, but it'll come up and hit the pinch welds. Like I have them on our Jeep, and you can see wherever the radius is for the tube that extends to the body mount. If you look at my green Jeep, it just goes, the body goes whoop, around the radius, because it just comes up and just like a die. This is what happens, right? So it used to be like this. Now it's like this. It's not a big deal versus sliding off with no rock rail and taking out the whole side of the Jeep. You know what I mean? Like I've seen people crunch that in like 4-6 inches, because it's almost like tinfoil. You could chew it. It's so thin, right? Like all the body mount. So I definitely recommend it. And then you just got to think about if you wanted it to be like a dual purpose, like protect you, great, and then a step, just for entry, right? So you got to figure out what makes sense for you that way. But yeah, I mean, I had the welded ones on my two-door JK a while back. I don't know if anyone remembers, black, green wheels, matched the Raptor, that guy. And yeah, once they're welded on, they're mint. They don't move at all, right? And you're gonna dent the thing before it moves an inch. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The only thing about those, I mean, that doesn't even matter. It's just like if I fell off a rock on those guys, like be prepared to like shake your eyeballs in your head because you're feeling all that energy. But if I fall off on the other Jeep, it's a lot less because the rubber is going to absorb that impact and it's going to move more, right? So no, that's like non-consequence. It's just a funny thing because I remember the first time I did, I was just like, my eyes were shaking. I'm like, oh shit, I had to get out and check, right? I'm like, oh, it's fine, but man, I thought I just destroyed something. But so yeah, they do their job definitely. Okay. And the Weld ones are tougher. The bolt-on ones are great. You just may run into a couple challenges, but you definitely do those at home.
Okay.
If you're handy.
And sorry, just to clarify, so you can get body mounted and you can get frame mounted, obviously.
I haven't seen too many bolt-on frame mount.
No.
Like if they did it, it was 100 years ago. People have gone away from it. So you're either going to weld these guys on or you're going to bolt it through the body mount.
Gotcha. Okay, so not
everyone across the board has been doing it that way. As far as I mean, there's probably someone out there that does it different, but just mainstreaming the products we've seen and stuff, the products that we sell are one or the other. And I'll tell you, if I sell 1,000 rock rails in a year, which I do, I might sell 8 weld-on ones. And I think mostly it's just time material prep, right? So like we'll put on a set of rock rails for you. Like a lot of people get them done. Like I get it. You're not going to do it outside, or maybe you're by yourself and you don't want to hold the other end of the 6-foot bar if you got a 4-door. You know what I mean? So let's say that's like let's say it's an hour and a half, right? But I'm going to have to charge you 4 hours at least to do the other ones, right? Mm-hmm. So I got to grind the frame. They're going to come mostly powder coated. I'm going to have to grind the powder coating off, line it up, measure where I want it, fit it, stitch it, clean it, paint it, and then repeat on the other side, right? So a lot more labor. So you get your $500-600 set of rock rails, and all of a sudden you got another, let's say just for fun, like $600-800 to put them on, or $500 or whatever, right? So, that's where it's starting to get expensive.
Yeah. Okay. I think if you can weld on rock rails, you're going to build your own.
You could even go that route, builder stuff, right? You might do it, and then you can just paint them, or you can send them out for powder coat. But when you do that, you're still breaking the powder coat because you got to clean an edge to weld on, right? So, kind of depends on how you feel about it.
Well, so actually, Tim, I was going to bring that up. So if we're talking weld on, like what does that look like? Maybe some pros to it. Why would I choose weld on versus?
You get what you want.
Yeah, you'd build your own. I personally, like Ryan said, I wouldn't buy a weld-on kit. I'd build something custom, so you can build a step as long or as short as you want, as much stick out as you want. You might want to build a trick top plate that's dimple dyed for that look, or dimple dyed so it's got some traction. So if you've got fabrication skills, you can cut, grind, weld, and work with tube, then you're going to build your own. I don't think you're going to buy a weld-on set. So I think that's really what leads to Ryan saying most people are going to buy something that either they can bolt on or shop can bolt on for you. That just makes more sense. If you've got fabrication skills, then you might want to build something custom because you have a different eye for what you're after. You think you can build something better than what's out there in the aftermarket, and that's totally possible. So that's kind of where you could get more creative.
Yeah, and in your opinion too, because like through manufacturing, like Tim knows all about it, obviously, but there's some great ideas, and then there's some feasible ideas, right? So in a long production run. So if you're gonna, they're built for X reason, for a bunch of reasons, like all the way through from design through to manufacturing to shipping to all that. So, but if you're gonna build yours at home, you can add that extra plate or that extra gusset or put whatever you want on it because it's just a one-off, right? So that kind of just makes more sense for the people that are able, right? So, and for the most part, the bolt-on ones will do just fine. Like I wouldn't be worried about, if you're not into that stuff, I wouldn't be worried about learning it unless you really wanted to think you're going to have this giant advantage. Like, I think something's better than nothing as long as it's not plastic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to go off-road, and it just say, you know what? They even save you like on the street. in the sense. So if you had nothing there and you go to the grocery store and some donkey parks right next to you, opens the door, bam, right into your paint. Fuck, right? But if you got those rock rails that stick out 6 inches past them, they're gonna hit, that door is gonna hit the rock rail, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, fuck you," you know what I mean?
Yeah,
no big deal. Then they're black. Just shoot a little black paint on. Who cares, right?
I think there's nothing sweeter than someone opening their Mercedes or Audi door into your rock rail, and ultimately it's like that's on you, bud. Sorry.
Yeah.
So,
that's a make your day moment. You're like, yeah,
absolutely, right?
Yeah. That's worth buying them right there, just for the sake of that.
Right? It's true. Yeah, definitely. Scott says that what does he say? Bolts are stronger than welds. Is that fair assessment?
I don't agree with that.
That depend on the.
Well, you're gonna put a 1 inch
design,
bolt,
right?
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Right,
it just depends on the product design, right? I mean,
yeah, and
you can go either way, I guess, right? But
fair enough.
I don't know.
Well, how about some cons? Because I've seen a few people who have said, "Look, I welded on my rock rails, and I will never do it again." What are some of the downsides to doing that?
Well, hard to remove.
Yeah.
You know, a lot more work. Like, let's say you sold the Jeep and someone didn't want them, you got to cut that stuff off. Maybe you just cut into your frame, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm just trying to think personally if I had any drawbacks. You know, once they're there, you know, in the sense like you got to measure twice and weld once kind of thing. You kind of want to do that. Other than like that abrasion when I hit, but I preferred that than hurting my body. I don't know. I can't think of anything for a weld on that I wouldn't like. Tim, you think anything?
Only thing I could think of is, I mean, if you damage it,
cut the piece out.
You could have to cut the piece off, and you're working on the Jeep. If you wanted to repaint them, obviously it's not as easy as unbolting it, sending it to powder coat to be redone. So you're kind of on your own for touch-ups and maintenance and stuff. But yeah, it's or obviously harder to, if you wanted to change it up in 2 years, if you're like, fuck, I really don't like the look of those, you're kind of married to them. But yeah, I don't really see any functional drawback to them.
No, okay. I don't either. And you just paint, even if you powder coat them and you scuff the shit out of them, you want to look good for a show and shine or just a spring cleanup, like just hit it with a reasonable, like if you did powder coat, get a fucking bed liner can of paint. Just stand 6-8 inches away and just give her a nice little whoop, little Bob Ross, little back landscape. It won't. No one will really know, especially 10 feet away. So I wouldn't worry about it. You know what I mean? That's what we do, man. I must have painted ours on that 2012 Jeep. I've had those things on there for I don't even know how long. Fuck, Christina painted them for hours last year on the way, like literally the whole day, clean them, paint them, and then you're 5 feet away, they look like new.
Yeah,
no big deal. And you're looking at some sweat equity and like $20 for paint. Like who cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't take them right down. I just painted over their factory powder coat, and it pretty much reasonably blends in, right?
Nice. Okay, cool. So then I'm gonna ask each of you then. So Tim, if you're and I guess it depends on the application, right? So let's talk about two scenarios. So your Gladiator, if you were to get rock rails on that, first of all, would you, because it has the Rubicon rails, and second of all, what would you look for? Or would you? I mean, obviously, being you'd probably just make your own, but let's pretend that isn't the case.
Yeah, I mean, I
pretend not to be you, Tim.
Yeah, that's right.
It's got the Rubicon rock rails on there, which I think will suffice for how I'm going to use that Jeep. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not in a rush to rush in and replace them. On my TJ, that will get a wheeled a lot harder. I make like a bolt-on set. We used to anyways, but we riv nut the body, so we put a whole pile of riv nuts down the side of the Jeep. And we bolt to that. The reason we do that style guard is clearance. It's the absolute highest clearance compared to having something either bolted to the frame and kicking off or something welded to the frame and kicked off. But like Ryan says, we've still added a tube step on there because we wanted that functionality of a step. Yeah. Truthfully, you don't really use that step. You just jump past it. So, I mean, a lot of people I know get hung up on
stretchy pants.
Yeah, exactly. I know a lot of people get hung up on like, oh, I've got to lift the Jeep. I need to put a rocker guard on there with a step for the wife to use. And it's like, that step's like 4 inches wide and it's already tall. I find sometimes it's more awkward to do kind of to step up on
double
that.
step.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You're kind of doing a double
Trip
step.
into the
Yeah,
trip into the truck, hit your face off the steering wheel.
yeah, it's exactly
Right?
So yeah, I don't know that that's actually all that functional on some of them. So maybe it's the type of thing like we always say with lots of this stuff. If your buddy's got a set, actually try them. If
Try it
someone
out.
in your Jeep club or
Sure.
group, like, hey man, can I climb into your Jeep to see if these actually work for me? But
Don't do that to strangers. They're not going to appreciate it. You got to know this guy or girl.
yes.
Yes, fair enough. It's funny you say that because I got in the fall, somebody had sent us some rock rails to throw up and do a demo on and what have you. But I didn't put them on because I was going to wait till the spring. And they are like with the step on the side. But I have no problem. And I'm not, I mean, I don't know if secret's out. I'm not like the tallest guy in the room. So but I have no problem getting into the Jeep without the step there. And I am curious if that step's just going to make it more awkward because I mean, it's up at the same height as the Jeep. So now you're just adding that extra, anyway, I'll let you know how it goes. But I think
you'll do
you
it
bring
for
a good point.
aesthetics too, right?
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. I mean, these are supposed to be pretty strong. So we'll see what happens. But okay. So Ryan, same question to you, or is that the same answer? What would you typically do?
Well, combat. We're gonna. It's on our product list, so we're gonna make some rock rails.
Nice.
With a step and some fun stuff. We got some sketches and that's about it. We're kind of like on the verge of making it. It's down the line a bit, but yeah, I'll make some for the Gladiator. We're gonna do Tacoma, Tundra, Gladiator,
Nice.
and then we're gonna do all the Jeep series JK to present. But ours will be bolt on, just for the market space that we attack, right? So we want just ease of sale, ease of use, ease of bolt on, just hand tools kind of thing. But I don't know. I don't really mind it. The bolt on ones, you know what I mean? Like, we haven't really, I don't go as hardcore or mental anymore anyways. Most of my time spent on the trails with just, bringing in people and kind of teaching them. So I don't know, maybe I'm getting a little older and I'll calm down a bunch, but not to say I wouldn't like it, but my function right now, just I think the bolt-on ones will work, and we're going to obviously showcase ours. So that's kind of where we run. But I did appreciate the weld-on ones, and I do really appreciate the custom ones. If it was something I was building custom, I would personally enjoy building them myself, right, and making them cool and making them the way I want it. So I get a little bit of that because we get to design the ones we want to sell. Then we just have to work it back for production and make sure it makes sense for the whole fit into the mold of the whole deal, right? So I still get to taste both worlds, so which is cool.
Got it. Okay, cool. No, that makes sense. And I think like almost everything we talk about on the show, it really comes down to personal preference and how you're going to use it. And no judgment either way, right? I mean,
I don't know about limb risers. I don't think anyone should have those.
Wait, I don't know what that is. What's a limb riser?
Good answer.
Yeah, right. You need to look it up, Paul.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
Look it up, and then next time you can laugh out. You're like,
we're not doing an episode on those.
No, pros and cons of limb risers.
We'll add that to the list of shows we're gonna do later, like the mid-arm.
They go right along with the mid-arm. If you have a mid-arm and you don't have limb risers, there's something wrong with it.
There you go. What do we got here? We got Dion says, my wife's 5'2", has no problem stepping into the Jeep with the rock sliders. Yep, same here. My wife's 5'2". She complains a little bit every now and then, right? Especially if I'm picking her up from work or she's wearing a skirt, which I find hilarious, right? Yeah. I don't have the problem, so I find it fun.
Who let the birds out?
Right? Exactly right. That's great. So how'd you get that raise? No, I'm just yeah, and then I think it was Colin, but again, I can't see. He says, Tim, you need to bring back the kick-ass TJ parts.
Oh, yeah. Bring it back, Tim.
No,
did you hear that? A TJ just died.
The last one?
I think it was like there's 7 left, I think.
No, yeah, I mean, it sucks. But yeah, that's just the nature of business. You can't really support and make products that people aren't buying. So yeah, that stuff had to
they're cool Jeeps, no question.
I love them. They're still my favorite Jeep. If I was gonna like go buy a Jeep tomorrow to do a personal build on, that's what I would get. Like 100%. That's preferred platform. But unfortunately, the market for them is just shrinkage.
Yeah, fair enough. And that's the thing, really. At the end of the day, right? It comes down to dollars and cents. I totally understand that. I'm the same way. Like I've never owned a TJ. I really would like to own a TJ. It's on my list. you know,
I'm gonna sell Christina's because I'm sick of it. You want it? It's mint.
is it? It's mint. That's not
No,
what
it
you said
is,
the
'cause
last time. No, I'm
I
just
know
kidding.
now it's mint because I fucking just put a bunch of shit in it again.
Oh, did you? That's awesome. Yeah,
No, I don't know if she'll sell it, but
It
Yeah,
comes with a
fair enough.
horse.
yeah.
There you go.
Package with a horse.
So when it breaks down, you go get the horse. He tows you back to the shop.
There you go. Exactly right. Package deal. Good for
Yeah,
everyone.
no problem.
Yeah, and so this is an LJ is better, and I definitely agree with that. They're just insanely expensive. Though.
Hard to find.
Yeah, really hard to find, really expensive. But man, some of them look like mint.
Oh,
like,
there's some great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeeps with
Yeah,
them.
on Instagram, there's some LJs out there that just actually there's some YJs out there for that matter, right? That are just
There's all cool.
insane.
Instagram
Yeah.
is the land of the fake and cool.
Yes.
Right?
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Gridlock's
Unlimited
like a
budgets,
1984 YJ. That that Gridlock Jeep? It's like
No.
CJ.
it's
Then 84 would be a CJ.
or maybe 87. I don't know, but it's I'm
87
pretty
is
sure
a
it's,
YJ.
I'm pretty sure it's a YJ, and it was built by Black Ops, as far as I understand. But anyway, it's like the sickest Jeep going. It's how many years old? I mean, yeah, there's some amazing builds out there.
Some of those are just the tub and the grill, though, right? Like there's a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's all.
Hyper custom. Right?
I'm sure that's all that's left. Yeah,
Just looks
for sure.
just for flavor, right? Put a
Yeah,
little
for
tree
sure.
there.
And here someone says, and here's me with my built up WJ. I love it. Those are pretty
Ooh.
sweet too.
Not
Yeah,
a lot
what-
of those. Yeah.
Wes has one with the V8 and everything. It's hilarious. We put a Flowmaster on it. He just fucking stomps on it.
They're crazy capable. And like I again, we've posted up on the
If you
channel.
can get
what
the
have you, but-
clearance, if you can
Yeah.
get the clearance out of them and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they
pretty
work, yeah.
sweet. All right, cool. All right, so anything else that we missed or we need to touch on with rock rails? Again, I think just to recap, it really comes down to personal preference. If you're going to take it out, you probably want to get something that's a little bit more durable. Definitely don't want to be using the stock Sahara plastic as any sort of protection. And again, to recap, you're saying weld on if you're doing some serious off-roading, weld on's probably the way to go. Is that accurate? That's what we're saying?
Yeah, if you had to pick, they're definitely sturdier. But,
Yeah.
the bolt-on ones can still take a pretty good beating. Like Christina beats the little green Jeep pretty good.
I was going to say that one's got, and
Yeah.
that's on top of the Rubicon rails, right? Like the
Right,
Rubicon
but we're
rails
still
are there.
doing, we're still doing like trails though. You know what I mean? Like there's some harder trails, but it's not like we're not doing like obstacle racing or something, right? Where you're going to fall 3 feet if you screw that up onto the rail, right? Whereas
Yeah.
we'll slide off a foot, here and there or whatever, or just graze something, right? So for that, they're fine. They're more robust maybe than we were leading on here in the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to buy the bolt-on ones
Yeah,
to the body
that's-
mounts.
Bulk of the market right there.
Yeah, totally, man. Like, yeah, and then like I said, like we sell tons of them, and almost all of them are going to be a bolt-on, and they're almost all going to bolt strictly to the body mount. And then, like yours, Tim, the ones you do that leave that cladding right across
Yes.
the body. See,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
cool because you can. That's such a big space, and there's so many points to hold it that you're deflecting all that pressure.
You're really spreading it out, right?
Right. So they'll work just as good, right? Like that was one thing I forgot to talk about that when you said that about yours. So don't be afraid of those because they're good because they take up a big space and they're steel construction, and then they have so many points to hold it on that you're dissipating that stressor, right?
Yeah.
So you're all good with those. I was more concerned if you were to bolt them onto the body itself and have like 3 big mounts or 4
Yes.
big mounts. That's gonna fuck you.
Yep.
And if you bolt to the body and you bolt to the frame,
Twist
they're
it.
gonna move at different rates. So that's gonna fuck it. It's gonna twist stuff. So
Yep.
Stay away from that stuff.
Okay. No, that's good. And any update on those? Because I know I see people asking about that all the time. Like
2024.
especially on Zolo Jeeper, right? Because Todd
Yeah.
has them on his Jeep, right?
I think my internet connection broke.
Oh
yeah.
Are we losing
What?
it?
You're cutting out. What?
Wait.
They're,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
no, they're yeah. I mean, like everything, they're on the to-do list. So
Yeah,
we'll
fair
see.
enough.
We'll get there.
Fair
The
enough.
to-do
All right,
list
cool.
has 17 O's at the end of the
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Dude.
To do. All right, cool. Well, I think if we pretty much covered everything, once again, a little fluff episode. We're all super busy, so we thought we'd just do a quick in and out. And this time of year, for whatever reason, people ask this question a lot. on the internet, and I suspect it's just because it's an easy, like something you can do in an afternoon, right? So you can
and
just
it's a
go
big
out,
change.
yeah,
big change for a limited amount of effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate the time. I appreciate the quick 30 minutes. I know getting away from everything is tough sometimes. So yeah, it was good chatting. I appreciate it. We'll get this show up on the channel in the right spot ASAP, and we'll go from there. So till next time, be sure, if you're listening to this, subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit that little bell button so you can be notified of any new shows. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Until next time, I don't know. I got nothing. Till next time, have fun.
Till next time,
what is it? Keep fit and
I got a Fitbit. I gotta get in shape.
There you go. Right.
It's probably yelling at me because I've been standing here for 40 minutes.
There you go. Oh God, someone's already got into the what's the biggest tire I can fit on my TJ. That's it. We're out. We're out on that.
It's a 31.
Yeah. There you go. All right, everyone. Till next time. Take care.
See you.